Hello, esteemed gentlemen. Beware the fury of a patient man. Those words from John Dryden sum up the terrifying reality of a Sigma male at his breaking point. For the longest time, he endures, observes, and stays calm. But when the tipping point finally arrives, it's not what anyone expects. There's no storm, no loud declarations, just a quiet, unsettling shift in the air. The Sigma male doesn't explode, he evolves. And that's what makes him so dangerous. When he reaches his limit, what follows isn't chaos, but a calculated transformation that shakes everything and everyone around him. You'll never see it coming, but once it starts, there's no turning back. Number 1. They act as if they have nothing left to lose. When a Sigma male hits his breaking point, it's like he flicks off a switch in his head that controls everything society tells us to care about. There's no more weighing consequences or tiptoeing around people's feelings. He just stops giving a damn. And that's when things get really interesting. He operates with this wild sense of freedom, almost as if he's unlocked some cheat code to life. There's a strange calm about him, like he's already accepted whatever comes next. So he's got zero fear of stepping on toes or shaking things up. His moves become bold and almost reckless. But here's the catch. It's not recklessness for the sake of chaos. It's calculated. He's not trying to prove anything to anyone anymore. He's just done. There's a cold brilliance to the way he maneuvers, almost like he's on autopilot, doing exactly what he needs to do without a second thought. And it's unnerving because he's no longer driven by the usual human motivations like approval or fear of rejection. It's like watching someone play poker who's pushed all their chips in, knowing they could lose everything but still completely at ease with it. People around him sense this shift. It's hard not to. There's this intensity that follows him, like he's operating on a different wavelength from everyone else. And honestly, it's a little terrifying. You never know what's coming next because, in his mind, there's nothing left to lose, and that makes him a force to be reckoned with. Number 2, they use their anger as energy for change. When a Sigma male hits his boiling point, he doesn't just explode in some dramatic outburst. Nope, he's much too calculated for that. Instead, he takes all that anger, frustration, and whatever else is brewing inside him and channels it into something far more effective: change. It's like his anger becomes this powerhouse of energy that he funnels into reworking everything in his life. He doesn't just sit there stewing, waiting for things to get better. He gets up, tears down what's no longer working, and starts rebuilding from scratch. It's almost like he's flipping the script. While most people might get stuck in a rut, drowning in their emotions or picking petty fights, the Sigma male treats his anger like it's rocket fuel. Sure, he's pissed, but instead of wasting that fire on pointless drama, he uses it to do something that actually matters. He gets strategic, taking a hard look at what needs fixing, whether it's his career, relationships, or just his own mindset. It's kind of terrifying because there's nothing more focused than a Sigma who's fed up with the status quo. He's not throwing a tantrum, he's plotting his next move like a master chess player. And the craziest part, when it's all said and done, he's not just changed the situation, he's changed himself, often for the better. But good luck recognizing him after, because once he's transformed, there's no going back to who he was before. Number 3, Sigma male monk mode. When a Sigma male hits his limit, he doesn't lash out or let the world know he's had enough. Instead, he slips into what can only be described as monk mode. He withdraws into himself like some sort of modern-day hermit, cutting off distractions and ignoring the noise of everyone else's drama. It's not some passive retreat. He's not licking his wounds or hiding. He's actively zoning in on his own thoughts, sharpening his mind like a blade, and preparing for his next big move. In monk mode, he becomes a fortress, emotionally untouchable, mentally bulletproof. The outside world barely exists to him anymore, and you'll notice it because he'll go from being the guy who was once involved to someone you can't even reach with a megaphone. No text, no calls, he's just gone, even if he's still right there. His energy shifts from being spread across the chaos of everyday life to being entirely focused on mastering his own mindset. It's almost eerie how quiet and intense he becomes, like he's doing some kind of inner alchemy. And what's both impressive and unnerving is that when he emerges from this phase, he's not just back to normal, he's leveled up. He's more focused, more grounded, and way more determined. It's like the storm has passed, but what's left behind is stronger, more refined, and a little bit more untouchable than before. Number 4. They become unrecognizable. When a Sigma male hits his breaking point, the most unsettling thing is how unrecognizable he becomes. He's not out here throwing tantrums or making a scene. Instead, there's this quiet transformation that's almost chilling in its subtlety. You'll notice he starts to change in ways you can't quite put your finger on at first. The person you thought you knew? Gone. What's left is a version of him that's colder, sharper, and way less forgiving. It's like he's put on emotional armor, and there's no way to crack through it anymore. He still looks the same on the outside, same face, same demeanor, but everything underneath has shifted. He's more calculated now, less concerned with what people think or expect of him, and that's what makes it terrifying. You're dealing with someone who's detached from all the usual social niceties. He's no longer playing the game to fit in or make others comfortable. He's playing it to win on his terms. If you're not on his wavelength, he's not waiting around for you to catch up. His old habits of patience and compromise, those are gone. It's not just a change in attitude either. His entire approach to life becomes more methodical, almost surgical. You'll find yourself second-guessing every interaction because there's this edge to him that wasn't there before. He's still calm, but it's the kind of calm that feels like the eye of a storm. You're never sure when or how it's going to hit, but when it does, you realize just how far from the person you used to know he's drifted. At number 5, they disappear completely. When a Sigma male reaches his breaking point and disappears, it's not just a case of him taking a breather or going off grid for a weekend. No, when he vanishes, it's like he's erased himself from your life entirely. Poof, gone. There are no dramatic exits, no cryptic messages, and definitely no emotional goodbyes. One day he's there, fully engaged, and the next he's a ghost. He doesn't even bother with the usual let's keep in touch formalities because in his mind the chapter is closed, sealed, and forgotten. What makes it so unsettling is how cleanly he does it. There's no trace left behind. It's almost surgical, the way he cuts ties without so much as a glance over his shoulder. You won't find him lurking on social media or accidentally bumping into him at a mutual friend's party. He's made sure of that. He's mastered the art of vanishing as if he's never been there to begin with. You'll be left wondering how someone can detach so completely and still function like nothing happened. It's not just a physical disappearance either. He pulls away emotionally, mentally, and even spiritually. It's like he's locked away all the parts of him you once had access to, and now those doors are permanently shut. And what's even more chilling, he doesn't look back. He's not plagued by doubts or tempted to return. He's already moved on, and the unsettling part is realizing just how effortlessly he can make himself disappear from your world without a second thought. When a Sigma male hits his breaking point, it's not an outburst, it's a calculated reset. He doesn't flail or crumble, he sharpens. The shift is subtle but earth-shattering, marked by a silent withdrawal and a transformation that's far more unsettling than rage. By the time he's done, everything around him is changed, and he's not the same man you once knew. His strength lies in his ability to let go and disappear without a trace, leaving nothing but the echoes of his quiet power. And that's what makes him truly terrifying. His break isn't a breakdown, it's a breakthrough, and once he's crossed that line, there's no coming back. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the enigmatic world of Sigma males, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Join us on this thrilling journey where we uncover the secrets behind the coolest, most mysterious personalities out there. Hit subscribe and ring the bell, because just like the Sigma male, you won't want to miss what comes next.